Hey everybody. Sorry for being late, y'all. Hi everybody. Hope everybody is well. Like the live, share the live. Can y'all see the trigger warning today? Hey y'all. Hopefully everybody's okay. Like the live, share the live. You can't, damn it. The sticker is not working for some reason. I was waiting for you to go live. Perfect. I was just charging my my mouse, y'all. That's why it took a while. 10 minutes later. Thank you. So like the live, share the live. Today's focus is gonna be Trump. Today's focus is gonna be Trump, y'all. It's really bad. I'm not gonna lie. It's really bad. Thank you guys for the gifts. It's really bad. And I didn't even get a fraction into Trump's results, entries. I'm definitely going to be hosting multiple lives. Yes, I just started, by the way, so don't worry. Like the live, share the live. I didn't even get into a fraction of Trump's entries, and it's already bad. Thank you, everybody. Just like the live, share the live. Let's get this at least to like 10K likes, and that would be amazing. Yeah, there are 5. Yeah, I do host debates. By the way, I primarily speak on racism and feminism, but for the coming week, I will literally go through all the people in the Epstein files too, basically, right? No, you have not missed anything. I just started. I was recharging my mic. Not my mic, sorry, my mouse. There was a document that was deleted by the DOJ, and I got a hold of that document, by the way. Yeah, there was a document that was deleted by the DOJ, and I got a hold of that document, and we'll be discussing that now. It's really bad. Really, really, really bad. I also got some videos for today. So just like the live, share the live. We'll be going through Trump's allegations today. They're really horrific. So yeah. By the way, I just wanted to show y'all, right? If you type Trump in, as you can see, there are 5,333 results. 5,333 results. That is a total of, hold on. Oh. And I just got to page 10, by the way. I just got to page 10 and it's already bad. Right? Just page 10. Crazy. So I'll be discussing his lives. You're not 20 minutes late. I just started, by the way. I haven't started yet. I was recharging my mic. Not my mic. Damn it. My mouse. But these are all the documents I found of Trump. One thing that I found of Trump that is so fascinating, by the way. Where is it? Hold on. Look at that. Huh. Ha ha. Ha. Isn't that crazy? What does it say here? From left American real estate developer Donald Trump and his girlfriend, future wife, former model Melania Knauss, financier and future convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, and British socialite Ghislaine Maxwell. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So, I'm going to be going through videos today. I'm going to be going through clips today, images, disturbing. And yes, I did see that video of Epstein chasing young girls, and I will also be playing that video here, right? So just like and share the live. Continue liking the live, by the way. Protect the live. If in case I do get banned, because of course they're going to be extra touchy with Trump, you know? Especially the people who support MAGA are going to be extra touchy with Trump. So hold on. If in case, dang it. My backup is in my link tree, by the way. That's where I'll go live. My backup is in my link tree. That's where I'll go live. I do have a second account. So if in case they ban me here, I will immediately go live there, okay? So my backup is in my link tree. Protect the live. Exactly. Thank you. And the mods, as per usual, every single time, every like couple of minutes or seconds, not seconds, every couple of minutes, please do add a trigger warning the whole time. Today, I'm going to be focusing specifically on Trump, by the way. But don't worry, I have a list of the people, the names that you guys gave me, of people I should look into, and I will be doing that. But today, I'm primarily focusing on Trump, okay? So the first thing that I found very interesting, by the way, if people don't think this is serious, right? Focusing on Trump and Epstein. Of course, Epstein is always going to be a focus, but primary focus today is going to be Trump, right? This is an email thread that I found, by the way. If people don't know how serious this is, right? It's an email thread from a person who's redacted. Okay? And they say that they're sending this email to Jeffrey Epstein. And they say, I give you permission to kill him. He is apparently with Olga. He lied to you and he lied to me. And then Jeffrey Epstein responds to them saying, whoops. And then they respond to him. They send it from an iPhone and say, no one will lie to you and get away with it from me. No one. Whoops is correct. So we're talking about people being unalived, right? It's crazy. We're talking about Epstein also unaliving people. I don't know who Olga is. They say he's apparently with Olga. And another clip that I did want to show you guys to show how serious it is, by the way, is the fact that yesterday a statement was made when the Epstein files were released. And that statement was, the Deputy Attorney General.
Any depiction.
Look what he says about the files that were released, okay?
Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
They have imagery of death. That's what he just literally admitted. He said, let's repeat that again, right? Let's repeat what is not included in the Epstein files now, what they haven't uploaded yet.
Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contain images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced.
Anything that was showing death or physical abuse not released. So who did they unalive? That means they have snuff films as well. Snuff films. Really sick, right? I did also see this, by the way. So we'll start. Trigger warning, by the way. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. This is imagery of Trump at a modeling agency.
The 58 contestants participated.
He's, of course, judging the models. Creepy, just all along creepy.
Round of personal interviews designed to help our judges discover what makes each one special.
You're fine man reading? Serious, huh? We may measure it. Okay. Thank you very much, Amy.
The concentration was intense
It's just creepy. I don't know what he's doing there.
inside the judging room.
I don't like you as you are.
And out.
I'm just so excited.
Each girl was considered not only for her beauty and poise, but also for her personality and that indefinable
Something extra that makes a top model.
You want to pull your hair back 1 second? All right. Thank you very much, Ingrid. Good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
When it came time to choose the 21 finalists, emotions ran high as each judge expressed his or her opinion.
Why is Trump here? What is he gonna do? Really weird. Right? Really, really weird. And then, of course, Trump said he didn't know Epstein. This is at one of his parties, by the way. Hold on, let me make this smaller so you guys can see it better. This is at one of Epstein's parties. He literally just essays a woman right in front of us. Here he is with Epstein. Exactly. The guy that he was joking around with, by the way. Trigger warning, by the way. This is really, really bad. All of this is incredibly bad. So trigger warning, please, to all of this. By the way, there was a document that the DOJ deleted, and I got my hands on it. It was a document that detailed essay, even by Trump. So thankfully I was able to get a hold of that document that was deleted, and I will be reading it here as well. But the man who was literally right now on the video was Trump. This is him. Now, of course, the victims have been redacted, chasing young girls in his house, in his kitchen. Yeah. This man, this is real footage. This is real verified footage that was in the files, in the Epstein files, right? Where he was chasing young girls. So, not only was that released, there was countless footage that was released of Trump and Epstein together. So if anybody is trying to tell you that Trump and Epstein were not close friends, that's just a flat out lie. There's literally countless photos of them together as well, right? So these are the people who were found referenced in the Epstein files, right? Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Michael Jackson, Bill Gates, Leonardo DiCaprio, George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Prince Andrew, Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis, Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Mick Jagger, George Lucas, Tony Blair, Mohammed bin Salman, John Kerry, Ted Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Michael Bloomberg, Woody Allen, Alan Dershowitz, Ghislaine Maxwell, Andrew Cuomo, Phil Collins, Larry Summers, Ehud Barak, Chris Tucker, Les Wexner, Leon Black, Glenn Dubin, Jean-Luc Brunel, Peter Mandelson, Ren Rothschild, Hamid bin Jassim, Abdullah bin Zayed, Saad Hariri, Ahmed Abul Ghaid, Miguel Angel Mortinos, Minnie Driver, Peter Dalglish, Tayyib Fassi Fihri, Khalid bin Ahmed Al Khalifa, Makhdoom Shah Mahmoud, and Henry O'Dane Ajumugibo. These are all the, not all of them, but up until now, the important people who have been found in the Trump files, right? So let's get straight to it. Let's get straight to it. Right? Let's get straight to it. Let's see, where was this one? From the 1990s to mid-2000s, Epstein often socialized with the future president Donald Trump. Author Michael Wolff wrote that Trump, Epstein, and Tom Barrack were at the time like a set of nightlife musketeers on the social scene. Epstein and Trump socialized both in New York City and Palm Beach, where they both had houses. In April 2003, New York Magazine reported Epstein hosted a dinner party in his Manhattan residence to honor Bill Clinton, who did not attend, although Trump did attend. According to the Washington Post, one person who knew Epstein and Trump during this time noted that they were tight and they were each other's wingmen. Sorry. When they talk about wingmen, they're talking about minors, by the way. In November 2004, Epstein and Trump's friendship ran into trouble when they became embroiled in a bidding war for a $40 mansion. Mike Delamite, which was being auctioned in Palm Beach, Trump won the auction for $41 million and successfully sold the property 4 years later for $95 million to the Russian billionaire Dmitry Rubolovlev. That month was the last time Epstein and Trump were recorded to have interacted. Hold on, where is this? Here we go. She claims, so this is about a victim, right? That's talking. Epstein a massage. She claims she was taken to his mansion where he exposed himself and had sexual intercourse with her and paid her $200 immediately afterwards. A similar $50 million suit was filed in March 2008 by a different woman who was represented by the same lawyer. These and several similar lawsuits were dismissed. All other lawsuits have been settled by Epstein out of court. Epstein made many out-of-court settlements with alleged victims. A December 30th, 2014 civil suit was filed in Florida by Jane Doe 1 and Jane Doe 2 against the United States for violations of the Crimes Victims' Rights by the U.S. Department of Justice MPA, with Epstein and his limited 2008 plea. There was later an unsuccessful effort to add Jane Doe redacted Jane Doe 3 and another woman, Jane Doe 4, as plaintiffs to that case. The addition accused Alan Dershowitz of sexually essaying a minor, Jane Doe 3, provided by Epstein. The allegations against Dershowitz were stricken by the judge and eliminated from the case because he said they were outside the intent of the suit to reopen the plea agreement. A document filed in court alleges that Epstein ran an SA ring and lent underage girls to prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, well-known prime minister, and other world leaders. This long-running lawsuit is pending in federal court aimed at vacating the federal plea agreement on the grounds that it violated victims' rights. On April 7, 2015, Judge Kenneth Mara ruled that the allegations made by alleged victims against Chris Andrew had no bearing on the lawsuit by alleged victims seeking to reopen Epstein's non-prosecution plea agreement with the federal government. The judge ordered that allegation to be struck from the record. We need to address Judge Kenneth Mara as well. This is what I mean by the judicial system tends to fail victims. Crazy. On the lawsuit by alleged victims seeking to reopen Epstein's non-prosecution plea agreement with the federal government, the judge ordered that allegation to be struck from the record. Judge Mara made no ruling as to whether claims by redacted are true or false, though he did not allow Jane Doe 3 and Jane Doe 4 to join the suit. Mara specifically said that redacted may later give evidence when the case comes to court. On February 21, 2019, in the case of two Jane Does versus United States, Senior Judge of the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida, Kenneth Mara, said federal prosecutors violated the law by failing to notify victims before they allowed him to plead guilty to only the two Florida offenses. The judge left open what the possible remedy could be. In December 2014, Florida court filing by Bradley Edwards and Paul G. Cassell meant for inclusion in the Crime Victims' Rights Act's lawsuit. Redacted, then known as Redacted, alleged in a sworn affidavit that at age 17, she had been trafficked by Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for their own use and for use by several others, including Prince Andrew and retired Harvard Law professor Alan Dershowitz. Redacted also claimed that Epstein, Maxwell, and others had physically and abused her. She alleged that the FBI may have been involved in a cover-up. What is happening? She said she had served as Epstein's quote-unquote sex slave from 1999 to 2002 and had recruited other underage girls. Prince Andrew, Epstein, and Dershowitz all denied having had sex with Redacted. Dershowitz took legal actions over the allegations. Redacted filed a defamation suit against Dershowitz. Accounts differ on when Maxwell first met American financier Jeffrey Epstein. According to Epstein's former business partner, Stephen Hoffenberg, Robert Maxwell introduced his daughter to Epstein in the late 1980s. So Ghislaine Maxwell's father introduced her to Epstein. By the way, her father had ties to Mossad. I don't know if you guys knew this. Her dad had ties to Mossad. And he's the one who introduced her to Epstein, right? The Times reported that Maxwell met Epstein in the early 1990s at a New York party following a difficult breakup with Count Gianfranco Cigogno Mozzoni of the Siga Hotels clan. Maxwell had a romantic relationship with Epstein for several years in the early 1990s and remained closely associated with him for more than 25 years until his death in 2019. The nature of their relationship remains unclear. In a 2009 deposition, several of Epstein's household employees testified that Epstein referred to her as his main girlfriend. Excuse me? As his main girlfriend. Who also hired, fired, and supervised his staff starting around 1992. She has also been referred to as the lady of the house by Epstein's staff and as his aggressive assistant. In a 2003 Vanity Fair profile on Epstein, author Vicky Ward said Epstein referred to Maxwell as my best friend. Ward also observed that Maxwell seemed to organize much of his life. Politico reported that Maxwell and Epstein had friendships with several prominent individuals in elite circles of politics, academia, business, and law, including Presidents Donald Trump and Bill Clinton, attorney Alan Dershowitz, and Prince Andrew, Duke of York. Maxwell is known for a long withstanding friendship with Prince Andrew and for having escorted him to a hookers and pimps social function in New York. She introduced Epstein to Prince Andrew, and the three have often socialized together. In 2000, Maxwell and Epstein attended a party thrown by Prince Andrew at the Queen's Sandringham House estate in Norfolk, England, reportedly for Maxwell's 39th birthday. In a November 2019 interview with the BBC, Prince Andrew confirmed that Maxwell and Epstein had attended an event at his invitation, but he denied that it was anything more than a straightforward weekend. In 1995, who's this? In 1995, Epstein renamed one of his companies the Ghislaine Corporation, based in Palm Beach, Florida. The company was dissolved in 1998. As a trained helicopter pilot, Maxwell also transported Epstein to his private Caribbean island. Right? Crazy. Actually insane. And they also were hyper focusing, by the way, on Trump's election for some reason. It was very interesting. This is another what's called. Details of a civil lawsuit made public in January 2015 contained a deposition from Jane Doe 3 that accused Maxwell of recruiting her in 1999 when she was a minor and grooming her to provide sexual services for Epstein. A 2018 expose by Julie K. Brown in the Miami Herald revealed Jane Doe III to be Virginia Giuffre, who was previously known as Virginia Roberts. Giuffre met Maxwell at Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago Club in Palm Beach, Florida, when Giuffre was a 16-year-old spa attendant. She asserted that Maxwell had introduced her to Epstein, after which she was groomed by the two of them for his pleasure, including lessons in Epstein's preferences during oral sex. Maxwell has repeatedly denied any involvement in Epstein's crimes. In a 2015 statement, Maxwell rejected allegations that she had acted as a procurer for Epstein and denied that she had facilitated Prince Andrew's alleged acts of SA. Her spokesperson said the allegations made against Ghislaine Maxwell are untrue, and she got charged, so they were true, actually. Giuffre asserted that Maxwell and Epstein had trafficked her and other underage girls, often at sex parties hosted by Epstein at his homes in New York, New Mexico, Palm Beach, and the U.S. state's Virgin Island. Maxwell called her a liar. Giuffre sued Maxwell for defamation in federal court in the Southern District of New York in 2015. While details of the settlement have not been made public, in May 2017, the case was settled in Giuffre's favor, with Maxwell paying Giuffre millions. By the way, the sad thing about this case is that this victim here, the survivor, Virginia Giuffre, unalived herself last year. That's the saddest thing. She committed self-unaliving, basically. Allegedly. Right? She committed unaliving, allegedly. Was found unalived. Sorry, let me write this down. EFTA 02731361. Right? So she was found unalived last year. Allegedly. Right? That's the saddest part. In 2017, Sarah Ransom filed a lawsuit in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York against Epstein and Maxwell, alleging that Maxwell hired her to give massages to Epstein and later threatened to physically harm or destroy her career prospects if she did not comply with their sexual demands at his mansion in New York and on his private Caribbean island, Little St. James. The suit was settled in 2018 under undisclosed terms. Maria Farmer. On 16th April 2019, Maria Farmer went public and filed a sworn affidavit in federal court in New York, alleging that she and her 15-year-old sister, Annie, had been essayed by Epstein and Maxwell in separate locations in 1996. Farmer's affidavit was filed in support of a defamation suit by Virginia Giuffre against Alan Dershowitz. According to the affidavit, Farmer had met Maxwell and Epstein at a New York art gallery reception in 1995. The affidavit says that in the summer of the following year, they hired her to work on an art project in billionaire businessman Leslie Wexner's Ohio mansion, where she was then SA'd by both Maxwell and Epstein. Farmer reported the incident to the New York Police Department and the FBI. Her affidavit also stated that during the same summer, Epstein flew her then 15-year-old sister, Annie, to his New Mexico property, where he and Maxwell molested her on a massage table. Farmer was interviewed for CBS This Morning in November 2019, where she detailed the 1996 assault and alleged that Maxwell had threatened both her career and her life. Her career and her life. Right? Crazy. Let's go to the next one. Okay, I think we went through this already. This is disturbing, I'm not gonna lie. And what's up with the massage and the 200? By the way, I found a lot of receipts as well, like invoices, of like $200. By the way, it says here, there we go. Previous long-term girlfriends associated with Epstein include Ava Anderson Dubin and publishing heiress Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein was romantically linked to Anderson Dubin for an 11-year period, mostly in the 1980s, and the two later remained friendly well after her marriage to Glenn Dubin. Epstein met Maxwell together of disgraced media baron Robert Maxwell by 1991. Epstein had Maxwell come to the United States in 1991 to recover from her grief following the death of her father. Maxwell was implicated by several of Epstein's accusers as procuring or recruiting underage girls, in addition to once being Epstein's girlfriend. In a diary purported to belong to Redacted was published online. Epstein entered an out-of-court settlement with Redacted, as he had done in several lawsuits. Here are more names, by the way. On March 11, 2019, in the appeal of the district judge's refusal to unseal the documents relating to the 2017 defamation settlement of Redacted versus Maxwell, the Second Circuit Court gave parties 1 week to provide good cause as to why they should remain under seal, without which they would be unsealed on March 19, 2019. Later, the court ordered these documents to be unsealed after having them redacted to protect innocent parties. In Redacted's testimony, she claims that she was directed by Maxwell to give erotic massages and engage in sexual activities with Prince Andrew, Jean-Luc Brunel, Glenn Dubin, Marvin Minsky, Governor Bill Richardson, another unnamed prince, an unnamed foreign president, and a well-known prime minister, and an unnamed hotel chain owner from France, among others. The deposition does not claim that any of these men, in fact, engaged with Redacted, and as of August 2019, none of these men have been indicted or sued for related sex crimes. Redacted testified, "My whole life revolved around just pleasing these men and keeping Ghislaine and Jeffrey happy. Their whole entire lives revolved around sex." I'm so sorry. This is disturbing. This is the victim speaking, by the way. Again, the victim just said, by the way, trigger warning, I tried to add a sticker and it wouldn't work, right? But literally, the victim, who was a minor, literally said, "My whole life revolved around just pleasing these men and keeping Ghislaine and Jeffrey happy. Their whole entire lives revolved around sex." Yes, this page is real. This is literally in the official Epstein files, by the way. As you can see here, everything is in the Epstein files. Bill Richardson was the former governor of New Mexico. And he's listed in this as well. On August 9th, less than 24 hours before Epstein's death, 2,000 pages of previously sealed documents from the case were released. 2 sets of additional sealed documents will be analyzed by a federal judge to determine whether they should also be made public. A John Doe asked the judge on September the 3rd to permanently keep the documents secret, claiming unproven allegations of impropriety could damage his reputation, though he had no evidence his name was included. How did he know his name was included? I'm confused. A federal lawsuit filed in California in April 2016 against Epstein and Donald Trump by a California woman alleged that the 2 men essayed her at a series of parties at Epstein's Manhattan residence in 1994 when she was 13 years old. How are none of these people in jail? Legitimately, how are none of these people in jail? This is disturbing. The suit was dismissed by a federal judge in May 2016 because it did not raise valid claims under federal law. The woman filed another federal suit in New York in June 2016, but it was withdrawn 3 months later, apparently without being served on the defendants. A third federal lawsuit was filed in New York in September 2016. This woman is literally actively trying. She had to file this 3 different times, allegedly, by the way. Allegedly, right? But she had to file this 3 different times. By the way, if my live gets taken down, my backup is in the link tree in my bio. I will go live there. If this live gets taken down, because I'm focusing on Trump today, my backup is in the link tree in my bio. Okay? If I go live on the next one, on my backup, I will try to basically repost it on this page. Just wanted to tell you guys that. A third federal suit was filed in New York in September 2016. The 2 latter suits included affidavits by an anonymous witness who attested to the accusations in the suits, asserting Epstein employed her to procure underage girls for him, and an anonymous person who declared the plaintiff had told her about the assault at the time they occurred. The plaintiff, who had filed anonymously as Jane Doe, was scheduled to appear in a Los Angeles press conference 6 days before the 2016 election, but abruptly canceled the event. Maxwell faced persistent allegations of procuring and trafficking underage girls for Epstein and other charges she denied. Maxwell was arrested in Bradford, New Hampshire by the FBI on July the 2nd, 2020, through the use of an IMCI mobile phone tracking device on a phone used by her to call one of her lawyers, her husband, Scott Borgenson, and her sister, Isabel. Maxwell was charged with enticement of minors, trafficking of children, and perjury. Prosecutors led by United States District Attorney Audrey Strauss charged with 6 federal crimes, including enticement of minors, trafficking, and perjury. This indictment charged that between 1994 and 1997, she assisted, facilitated, and contributed to the abuse of minor girls, despite knowing that one of the 3 unnamed victims was 14 years old. 14 years old. Can y'all hear me okay, by the way? Can everybody hear me okay in the chat? Okay, you can hear me okay. If it's glitching a bit, scroll out and come back. Scroll out and come back. If you want to stay with me, by the way, there is a link tree in my bio. My backup is there. So, yeah, just wanted to say that. You can go to my backup there. Follow me here. I'll try to repost it on my story in case this live gets taken down. Anyways. As of 28th of April, 2021, Maxwell was held at the Metropolitan Detention Center, Brooklyn, New York. Lawyers requested that Judge Nathan release her on $5 million bond with monitored home confinement while awaiting trial. Maxwell appeared by video link before a court in Manhattan on the 14th of July and pleaded not guilty to the charges. A naturalized U.S. citizen since 2002 who also holds passports from France and the United Kingdom, Maxwell was denied bail as a flight risk amid concerns regarding her completely opaque finances, her skill at living in hiding, and the fact that France does not extradite its citizens. The judge set a trial to date on the 12th of July, 2021. Yeah. Crazy. And it's very interesting that Mar-a-Lago was used a lot, by the way, to procure victims too, allegedly. Allegedly. Right? Hold on. So let's go to the next one. Hey, what is this? This one I just read. So this is a writing that I found. The woman alleges she was subjected to extreme sexual and physical abuse from the age of 13. On the first occasion, the alleged victim said she was forced to manually stimulate defendant Trump with the use of her hand until he reached sexual orgasm. She then goes on the second occasion, the documents state she was forced to orally copulate defendant Trump by placing her mouth upon defendant Trump's erect male part until he reached orgasm. In response to the allegations, Trump told Radar Online the allegations are not only categorically false but disgusting at the highest level and clearly framed to solicit media attention or perhaps are simply politically motivated. There is absolutely no merit to these allegations, period. Epstein has yet to comment on the allegations. The woman claims she was threatened with her life if she ever spoke of the SA she alleges she suffered. In her closing statement, she added, the alleged victim was fully warned on more than one occasion by both defendants, Donald J. Trump and Jeffrey E. Epstein, that were she ever to reveal any of the details of the sexual and physical abuse that she had suffered as a sex slave for defendant Trump and defendant Epstein, that plaintiff Johnson and her family would be in mortal danger. The plaintiff was warned that this would mean certain death for herself and the plaintiff family unless she remained silent forever on the exact details of the depraved and perverted sexual and physical abuse she had been forced to endure from the defendants. According to the documents, the woman is representing herself in the case. The allegations emerged less than 24 hours after Trump attracted criticism after proudly boasting while on the campaign trail in Indianapolis that he had been endorsed by Mike Tyson. The state is where the former world heavyweight champion was convicted of raping beauty pageant contestant Desiree Washington in 1992. He was jailed for 3 years for the attack. Mike Tyson endorsed me, Trump told the crowd. I love it. He sent out a tweet, Mike. Iron Mike, you know all the tough guys endorsed me. I like that, okay? But Mike said, I love Trump. I endorse Trump. And that's the end. I'm sure he doesn't know about your economic situation in Indiana. But when I get endorsed by the tough ones, I like it because you know what? We need toughness now. We need toughness. That's what Trump is saying. Trump was a supporter of Tyson after the conviction, saying that to a large extent he was railroaded. Are we surprised that Trump is supporting rapists? Convicted rapists, by the way? Are we surprised at all? Crazy, you know? Trump had a financial interest in the case because Tyson's fights made money for his hotels. The businessman was previously accused of SA by his ex-wife, Ivana Zinkova, during their divorce in 1991. Yeah, by the way, Ivana Trump, who is Ivanka Trump's mother, she also accused Trump of SAing her in their divorce case. Right? The Czech-American socialite accused him of graping her 3 years previously, but later clarified her comment, saying it was not in a literal or criminal sense. In what sense? How can you grape somebody in a non-criminal sense? I'm confused. Trump has always denied her allegation. The allegation had appeared in a sworn deposition made by Ivana Trump, reported in the 1993 book Lost Tycoon, The Many Lives of Donald J. Trump by Harry Hurt III. According to the author, she accused him of rape after he allegedly attacked her in a violent assault. In the book, it is alleged he ripped off her clothes to have sex with her. The book claims she told her friends, he raped me. A spokesman for Trump wrongly claimed you cannot grape your spouse. So, Trump's spokesman said, marital grape isn't a thing. This is the type of people he surrounds himself with, by the way. These are the type of people he surrounds himself with. When his own spokesman is saying, you can't do marital grape, what does that mean? However, 50 states throughout the U.S. say it's illegal. Before Lost Tycoon was printed, Trump and his lawyers provided a statement from Ivana, published beneath the allegation of grape. Of course you can grape your wife. What are you talking about? Of course you can grape your spouse. Marital grape is a thing. Anybody who says that in the chat, mods, please mute them. I don't want any grape apologists here in this live. I don't want any grape apologists here. So, this is a scrapbook, by the way. Hold on. Where is it? This is a scrapbook. I think that was made by one of the victims. Where they just actively have like scraps of like newspaper articles that they kind of cut out and decide to post. And they're mostly of like magazines, as you see here. Because I think this is a journal. And the saddest thing is, look what the notes that they wrote. Faith giving up, guilt, helpless, shame, regret, invaded, emotional roller coaster. This is a scrapbook from one of the victims that they made, like a journal, basically, right? And it's just newspaper articles of Epstein. And they have notes all over it as well. As you can see, this is like a scan. You can see the journal edge right here, right? This is like a normal college book. And this is just a scrapbook. It's just, you know, Manhattan money manager and part-time Palm Beacher Jeffrey Epstein is scheduled for a plea conference. Here, Senate bills. Here, another scrapbook. Woman sues billionaire, like another, like, cutout. Girl sues Epstein. 2 others, she says, conspired in massages. Jane Doe, 17, sues in state court after dropping federal suit. A former Palm Beach Community College student who police say procured underage girls to give Jeffrey Epstein sexual massages at his Palm Beach mansion and Epstein's personal assistant have been sued along with Epstein over their alleged conduct. The girl behind the lawsuit was 14 years old when she contends he engaged in sexual conduct with her after she went to his waterfront home in 2005 to give him a massage. Her lawsuit, filed under the name Jane Doe, seeks unspecified damages from Epstein for SA and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She also sued Epstein Redacted of Loxahatchee and Redacted of New York City on the grounds of conspiracy and civil racketeering. We just want a full measure of justice for this girl, said her attorney Ted Leopold. Redacted, who attended Palm Beach Community College, was paid by Epstein to bring girls to his mansion for massages and more, according to Palm Beach police. I'm like a Heidi Fleiss, they said, she told them. Her attorney could not be reached immediately for a comment. Redacted was an Epstein personal assistant who arranged the encounters. Even escorting the girls to his massage room, police alleged. These 2 conspired with him to help with the criminal enterprise, Leopold said. Jane Doe, through her father and stepmother, filed a federal lawsuit against Epstein in January. She dismissed it after her mother said she wasn't consulted about the litigation and sought to intervene. The mother is acting on her daughter's behalf in the latest lawsuit. Epstein's lawyer has denied the girl's allegations and said her family is simply attempting to get money from a very rich man. Epstein, 55, is a Manhattan money manager who has homes there in New Mexico and the Virgin Islands, in addition to his $88.5 million Palm Beach mansion. 2 other Jane Does have sued Epstein in federal court this year, making similar allegations to those of the first Jane Doe. Those cases remain active. Also pending against Epstein in state court is a felony charge of solicitation of prostitution arising from the same alleged incidents with several girls. That case is set for a trial in July 2 years after he was indicted. Jane Doe's new lawsuit filed in Palm Beach County Circuit Court is the most explicit in detailing Epstein's alleged misconduct. It is the only suit to include redacted and redacted as defendants and the only one to make conspiracy and racketeering allegations. I'm sorry, why was this whole enterprise supported? Where are all these different people? Right? Where are all these different people? Where are all these people who enabled this? Epstein paid girl $300. I think she's the 14-year-old girl. Because a lot of the newspaper articles they're cutting out is the same story of that 14-year-old girl. Right? It says here, Jeffrey Epstein did not have sex with this woman, Sanchez said. Herman suggested that Epstein masturbated in front of the alleged victim and used a vibrator on her after she was brought to his home. Oh my God. In February 2005. The girl is now 17. So he did that to her when she was 14. This was a typical 14-year-old girl at the time she met Epstein, Herman said. What happened here was despicable. The girl told police investigators that she informed Epstein she was 18 when she met him, and she said that was her age on her webpage, Sanchez said. Oh, so making her 18 is better, right? So I'm guessing Sanchez is his lawyer? Or one of his lawyers? So he's saying, oh yeah, she said she was 18. The girl's father and stepmother also attended the news conference. We're very angry, the father said. It's not right that this wealthy man can fly into town and destroy my daughter's innocence. He did not take questions. Epstein, 55, is a mysterious New York money manager who owns a Manhattan mansion as well as homes in Palm Beach, New Mexico. How did this guy make all of this money, by the way? How did this guy, make all this money? Epstein paid her $300 afterward, and Redacted got $200 for bringing the gift to him, the lawsuit says. Redacted and Redacted helped Epstein arrange other liaisons with girls, Palm Beach police concluded. Neither was charged. This is not the first time Epstein has been sued over purported activities with teenage girls. He was sued in New York in October by a woman who says she had sex with Epstein when she was 16 and had sought his help in becoming a model. The lawsuit filed Thursday also alleges that Epstein had essayed girls on his private island in the Virgin Islands. Herman declined to elaborate on that assertion. Police say lawyer tried to discredit teenage girls. Famed Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz met with Palm Beach County State Attorney's Office and provided damaging information about the teenage girls who say, oh my God. Dershowitz is a piece of shit, I'm not gonna lie. Dershowitz is actually a piece of shit. So he went to the attorney claiming that he had damaging information on the teenage girls. The reports also state that another Epstein attorney agreed to a plea bargain that would have allowed Epstein to have no criminal record. His current attorney denies this happened. And the documents also reveal that the father of at least one girl complained that private investigators aggressively followed his car, photographed his home, and chased off visitors. Police also talked to somebody who said she was offered money if she refused to cooperate with the Palm Beach Police Department probe of Epstein. The state attorney's office said it presented the Epstein case to a county grand jury this month rather than directly charging Epstein because of concerns about the girl's credibility. The grand jury indicted Epstein, 53, on a single account of felony solicitation of prostitution, which carries a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison. Police believed there was a probable cause to charge Epstein with the more serious crimes of unlawful sex acts with a minor and lewd and lascivious molestation. Police Chief Michael Ryder was so angry that he wrote State Attorney Barry Krischer a memo in May suggesting he disqualify himself from the case. The case originally was going to be presented to the grand jury in February, but was postponed after Dershowitz produced information gleaned from the website myspace.com, showing some of the alleged victims commenting on alcohol and MJ use. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. The damning evidence that Dershowitz had was that the girls drank alcohol. So he tried to discredit a bunch of teenage girls who came forward saying they were essayed by saying, look at their MySpace posts. They drank alcohol. Excuse me? What does them drinking, which teenagers generally do that, what does them drinking have to do with anything? Oh my God. Poor girl. Poor girl. Oh my God. These are all from her journal, by the way. Poor girl. Jeffrey Epstein is under indictment in Palm Beach, Florida, and it expected that when he came into the office of PR guru Howard Rubenstein, he would be sober and reserved. Quite the opposite. He was sparkling and ingenious, apologizing for the half-hour lateness with a charming line. Let's make this a bit closer. Hold on. Okay. There we go. That's better. I never realized how many one-way streets and no right turns there are in Midtown. I finally got out and walked, and as we went down the corridor to Rubenstein's office, he asked, have you managed to talk to many of my friends? Epstein had been supplying me the phone numbers of important scientists and financiers and media figures. Do you understand what an extraordinary group of people they are? What they have accomplished in their fields? One of the accusers, a girl of 14, had put his age at 45, not in his 50s, and you could see why. His walk was youthful, and his face was ruddy with health. He had none of the round-shouldered, burdened qualities of middle age. There was nothing in his hands, not a paper, a book, or a phone. Epstein had on his signature outfit new blue jeans and a powder blue sweater. I've only ever seen him in jeans, his friend, the publicist Peggy Siegel, had reported, saying there was a hint of arrogance in that Epstein signal that he doesn't have to wear a uniform like the rest of us. I told Epstein and Rubenstein the sort of story New York wanted to do, and Epstein seemed to find ironic delight in every word. A secretive genius, I'd say. Not secretive, private, he corrected in his warm Brooklyn accent. And if I was a genius, I wouldn't be sitting here. A guy with sex issues. A guy with sex issues. Why is he bragging about that? A smile formed on Epstein's bow-shaped lips. What do you mean by sex issues? Well, he was 54, had never married. I didn't finish. Are you channeling my mother? Other girls said they were weirded out, grossed out. They didn't like his egg-shaped penis. Definitely didn't want it inside them. Am I naive? I'm not sure what an egg-shaped penis looks like. There's definitely should be a picture of it on the internet. Mr. Epstein seems to want people to see it. Ugh! What the hell? He wants people to see it? He's in the same league as a subway flasher. except he has a bit of money and essays girls. What you would get if you put Jeffrey Epstein, striking Hollywood writers, and YouTube together. Is Andy Samberg available? Of course, Mr. Epstein probably needs therapy, not ridicule. Oh my god. The poor girl has to see these clippings, bro. By the way, these are all clippings from the girl, one of the victims. She did so much research. And then also moral philosophy, law. And they redacted her journal, like redacted names out of her journal. What is this? State legislation. Oh no, she even has a clipping on age of consent. What is this? Every time I went to Jeffrey's, hold on, what is this? Every time I went to Jeffrey's Palm Beach house on Ebro Street, he never answered the door. What does it say? He never answered the door. What is this word? What is that? Never answered the door, something back that I went through. I went through his front door. Once where redacted answered the door. In the back, there was another building that was probably for his housekeepers. I never went there. Some cars that I saw at Jeffrey's house, which I went, were always black Mercedes, Suburbans, and SUV Cadillacs. The inside of Jeffrey's house, when you go through the back door, you walk into the kitchen. In the kitchen was a stairway, a little fridge with Dasani little water bottles, a big fridge, a bar in the middle with white stainless steel stools, a desk stove. I meet his cook once, I think his name was Kevin. If you walk out of the kitchen, there is an open storage kind of room. Then you walk into the living room where you can see the water and a child wrote this, y'all. A child wrote this. Right? Where the desk. Then you walk into where the front door is with a swirl type staircase. There was a naked body statue, and up the staircase were pictures. When you get up the stairs, there is a mother statue. I think his room was to the right, and to the left was some other bedrooms. The walls were all pink, and Jeffrey's room is how you get to his bathroom, where I did his massages. By the way, she described his kitchen, right? And she literally was right, because this was a video from his kitchen where he's chasing young girls. Hold on, where is it? This one. She described his kitchen perfectly. This is a video, by the way, where he's chasing minors in his kitchen. Yeah. She was right about the kitchen, too. right? Let's continue reading her diary. Jeffrey's massage table was in the closet in the bathroom. The closet lights turned on when you walked in the closet by themselves. In the closets were pictures of a pregnant girl, a girl, some family with him in the pictures. I'm guessing it was family. I would put the massage table in the middle of the room with the sink on one side and a pink and green couch on the other side. Jeffrey used dark blue towels that were on the shelves right by the door. There was a dresser that had lotions and toys in the drawers. Oh my God. In Jeffrey's bathroom was a toilet with a door separated, a sauna, I think, a shower with a raindrop shower head. Oh my God. This is a little girl. She even drew the shower head. Look at that. She literally even drew a shower head, bro. Also, by the phone that was in this bathroom and in his room, there was an orange phone book. The white shutters that were in his bathroom were automatic. I left out of them one time. It had a couple laying out chairs. A white swirl staircase that led to his backyard was there, was a statue, and I left out of the white little fence where I would also come in. In the front of his house was an automatic, an autometric white fenced? Okay. Something $100 bills. Would give Jeffrey massages. Oh my God. Bro. I'd give Jeffrey massages. He would ask me to talk dirty to him. Jeffrey would grab me and spank. Okay, I just want to say, trigger warning. Is getting like really graphic. Okay, so trigger warning to anybody who is a victim of SA, to anybody who is a victim of child SA. I just want to say, protect your peace and leave the live now. If anybody is a victim of SA or child SA and you want to protect your peace, then please leave the live now. Mods, please type in the chat, trigger warning, SA. Trigger warning, SA. Just wanted to say that. I'm waiting now for you guys to, leave the live. Trigger warning, SA. So can somebody pin the comment, by the way? Why can't I pin it? What the hell? Okay, one of the mods, please pin that comment. All right, trigger warning, SA. This is, by the way, I'm reading a diary or a journal that was written by one of the victims. Okay, she prepared a journal, and these are excerpts. I tried to add a sticky note, but I couldn't. Like, it wouldn't let me add a sticky note, right? So that's why I'm asking the mods to do it. So anyways, I would give Jeffrey massages. He would ask me to talk dirty to him. Jeffrey would grab me and spank me until I would tell him to stop because I didn't like it. Jeffrey would use this gray and white toy to try and get me off when he was jacking off. Jeffrey loved when I would pinch his nipples. Jeffrey would tell me that I had the perfect body to... What is this word? The perfect body to... match. And he would try and get me A model. Oh, to model. Okay. The perfect body to model. And he would try and get me a modeling job. And at the time, I was in a modeling camp. Modeling was my dream. Jeffrey and I would talk about his vacations to Paris and New York, where he told me in New York he had an office. Jeffrey wanted to take me to New York, but he said he couldn't because I was not 18. Oh my God. Holy shit. Jeffrey wore a dark blue robe, just like his towels. The lotions I would use were from Bath and Body Works and costed $12 a bottle. The bottles were shiny gray. Jeffrey's phones were cream color like an office phone with a lot of buttons on them. I think another assistant of Jeffrey's I met was redacted. I would go to Jeffrey's most of the time at 11 a.m. for an hour. One time I went to Jeffrey's at 7 p.m. The kitchen had white tile. We saw that in the video. The living room was wooden flooring, and the stairs and upstairs was carpet. I think it was an off-white kind of color. Oh, her writing is like a little girl's writing, by the way. Look at this. Oh my God. May 10th. At Mods, if there are any trolls about essay and whatever it is, I don't want any essay apologists in the chat, by the way. You can just block them at this point. No trolling, no essay apologists. Like, this isn't the life for that. Right? May 10th, 2009. Jeffrey had his depot May 7th, 2009. I was pretty good. He walked in, introduced himself to my lawyers, then said, "You know who I am, damn right." He didn't really answer questions beside his age, where he went to college and high school. Bitch didn't even graduate college. I'm so glad I went. I just stared at him almost the whole time. He tried to be an asshole, but it didn't work. April 24th, I was Baker acted again. Miscommunication. Twitter thought I said I took half a bottle of bars. No, just half. I don't really care what people think. No one will ever know how I feel or my... Oh my God, I'm so sorry. This is actually so sad. This is actually so sad. This is so sad, y'all. Oh my God, this is so sad. I don't really care what people think. No one will ever know how I feel or my emotions. My mom came with me to Redacted, so she kind of has a better understanding of Redacted. Jeffrey can act like a hard ass, but he knows what he did and was wrong. Not just in my family. My father, my mother and sister who are my world. I don't want his money. I would rather him spend the rest of his life in prison. Love everyone that is by my side right now. He knows what he did. This is so sad, bro. Like, I don't want to cry, but this is so sad. I'm so sorry. This is so sad. She posted her diary. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, she posted her diary. Her schedule. No school, 5:30 to 10. The ex got paid. Jeffrey chilled at, oh my God, SAT. Jeffrey chilled at Redacted. Chilled at a dumb keg. Homecoming party. Paid, chilled at Redacted. Homecoming game. Homecoming dance. Oh my god, this is a little girl, bro. Look at her smiley face. Moonfest. Do you see that smiley face? And then she has here, Jeffrey comes back. Get papers signed for job. Bring Macbeth notebook. Shakespeare, scientist Macbeth. Summary package Macbeth and Ghost. Read. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. This is getting me really, this is getting me really, really emotional. I'm so sorry. This is getting me so fucking emotional, bro. The fact that she has, read Macbeth Act 1, and then the very next line is redacted. Bro, this is so sick. They just redacted everything. What the hell? Oh my god. And then she has the receipts, bro. The $200. The $200. Oh my god. His depot, I was so nervous. He acted like nothing, which I expected. He just doesn't want to forgive himself for anything. Seeing him was kind of a closure for me. His money is his ego, and that's about it. I'll take you to trial and get nothing. I don't care. I know in my heart that Jeffrey Epstein is a piece of shit. He knows my face, and that's all I wanted. If I have a depot, I hope he comes. I will let everything out. He couldn't do that. Why? Because he was wrong. That orange phone book also. Shower in his bathroom. When you walk in the closet, the light... What is this? The light also comes on. Try and act like I've never been there. I know. Oh, so he acted like she's never been there. Auto. Okay, auto. Try and act like I've never been there. I know a lot about that mansion. Pay lawyers all you want. We both know the truth. Play your games, Mr. Epstein. I have evidence and proof. I'll play Saul like you went. You can't run from a victim. A day that changed my life for now. One sunny day, I was going to the beach with a whole bunch of friends. I got a call from Redacted to see if I wanted to make $200. Of course, what are we going to have to do? Well, I'll give you a Xanax and we'll smoke on the way. Oh my God. I'll give you a Xanax and you'll smoke on the way. You just have to give this redacted man a massage in Palm Beach. Okay, let's go before the beach. That's what we did. We left the mansion around noon with $200 each and went to the beach. April 27, 2009. What a wonderful weekend. What a wonderful weekend I thought I was going to have. It was my friend's birthday on Saturday, so I was going clubbing and Peanut Island on Sunday. Well, 9 a.m. April 24th at work. Redacted calls me about an hour later. Redacted. Friday after work, I go and watch a movie at Redacted with my mom. Redacted. And the girls. The Secret Life of Bees is what we watched. I had a couple glasses of wine, took half a bar, call Redacted when I leave, and she's at Chili's with Redacted. And a what of beer? What is this? And called Redacted FBI, told everything about the day. Took half a bar and was, oh, she takes so much Xanax. A round of beers. Okay, thank you. She's taking a lot of Xanax. She thought I said half a bottle of Xanax. So she calls Redacted FBI, and they're scared and asked where I was. Told them Chili's on 441 by the Wellington Mall. I'm still on the phone with Redacted, and 5 police cars and an ambulance show up. So I'm getting Baker acted again. April 16 to 17 was a year. At least this time they released me to my mom at 5 a.m. March 25th, 2009. Today, Monday the 27th, I went with my mom to Redacted, and then she has on top, no more, it's my life. I think it was very helpful, so maybe my mom can have a better understanding of why I act the way I do sometimes. A lot of the time, I would rather be... What is this? I'd rather be... What is this word? Alone? Alone. A lot of the time, I'd rather be alone, which isn't good. I need to be social. So I go out, shop, beach, and go to bars. I like to take Xanax because I'm chill, but drinking on them I'm dangerous. I'm starting school in June and will quit smoking cogs May 29th. I'm done being unhealthy because of a man. I'm tired, so good night. Oh my God, bro. 6. This is so heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie. For the people who just came in, I'm reading a diary of a girl who was violated by Epstein when she was 14. So this is a diary of a girl who wrote it when she was 17 or 18, I think. But she's talking about what happened to her when she was 14. It's like a notebook, basically. She's a victim of Epstein. And then she says, I love my family. Redacted did what was in my best interest. P.S. Jeffrey's deposition is May the 8th, 11 a.m. Oh, freaking joy. And then she does a sad face. Not. Oh, my God. The emojis, like the little sad face, happy face, all that stuff, it's so sad. It's so sad. Because you know that she was, like very, she was a child. May 14th, 2009. So I found out that Jeffrey did register as a sex offender July the 2nd, 2008. Also, I got the whole depo from Jeffrey that took place May the 7th, 2009. Then tonight I'm out and find out that they subpoena, however, spell it. Oh my God, she couldn't even spell subpoena. She was a kid, bro. She didn't even know how to spell subpoena. Not a Sephora, she's spelling subpoena. And then she says however they spell it. And June the 1st, when I'm supposed to take my depot video taped at that, it's BS. Just because he has money shouldn't mean anything. Jeffrey Edward Epstein is a piece of shit, and there is a place in hell for him. I've tried to give it all to God, and he, Jeffrey, just brings everything back. I know so much about his house, it's not funny. His shutters are automatic in his bathroom. He has an orange phone book with whom every in it. I can describe that bathroom like the back of my head. Also, when you walk in the closet, the lights turn on automatic. Sorry, I've been there and I can describe so much. Take this shit to trial. I'm not ready, but let's get this over with. Jeffrey, you're a pussy. Money can't get you to heaven. God rest your soul. You're going to hell. May 2009. I found out I'm getting laid. I found out I'm getting laid off the 29th of May, which so unfair, but life is. I can't believe this criminal has a job plus bill of dollars. It wrecks me to know that this guy has do this. It's unfair. I can't even express how I feel. He is a... What is this? Her writing... He can do this. Okay. Her writing seems like she's getting angrier. And I think it's because she's angry. And that's why her writing is getting messier. Right? So she's very upset. It's unfair. I can't even express how I feel. He is a scum under my boots that I keep. And, I can't read this. He'll never admit to me about his Palm Beach Brillo mansion. I know for a... What? Has never been there. I try... What is... I can barely read this. By the way. Let's go. And then she says here, I'll describe your bathroom like no other. Games. Your money is shit. Something happened in that bathroom, by the way. Because she keeps bringing up the bathroom. Oh, this one says, try me. Let's play games. Let's go. Yeah. Something happened in that bathroom. She keeps bringing up the bathroom. She says here, I'm strong. And then she says here, he will not mess up my life anymore. That's the thought he had. And then she has here, I hate Jeffrey. Okay, I'm blocking whoever this is, by the way. Again, mods, as I said, if there's any grape apologists in the chat, just block them immediately, by the way. I don't want to tolerate any of that shit today. Or any day, actually. I don't tolerate any grape apologists or essay apologists. I hate Jeffrey. What else does she say here? Then she writes here, sex offender. Sex offender. Sex offer. Okay. Oh my god, it's Wednesday. And Tom and I will be at Gators. 25-cent beers to start my B-Day week. And again, the smiley emoji. And tomorrow, I will be at Gators 25-cent beers to start my B-Day week. Happy emoji. I'm about to be 22. And then she has a sad emoji. I wish I could stay 16 and everything I'm going through wouldn't be. Oh my God. Life makes a person stronger. So they say, hopefully I saw Jeffrey and I'm not as bad. It did give me some closure. He knew who I was, so damn sure. I just want to go to travel and put him on blast. I just want to go to trial and put him on blast. I know so much about his mansion and everything. Try me. Jeffrey, you're not getting away with what you did. Not only to me, getting away with what you did. Not only to me, several other girls. We were not women at the time, and you knew it. Oh my God, we were not women at the time. Yes, so she was a minor at the time. She was 14 years old when Jeffrey did this to her. And this is her journal that she wrote past the years. So she wrote multiple entries as she was getting older about her incident that she experienced when she was like 14, I think. 14 or 16. So these are different journal entries, basically. I know so much about his mansion and everything. Try me. Jeffrey, you're not getting away with what you did, not only to me, but several other girls. We were not women at the time, and you knew it. You took advantage of us because you have money. I came from a middle-class family, but not to ask for money because I had $200 But not to ask for money because I had $200 was a teen stream. I could shop, get gas, and do whatever I wanted. Do I regret it? At this time, yes. It has put me through so much stress and wanting to be alone. I have life taking. I didn't eat for a long time. But I'm over it. Jeffrey Epstein is a piece of shit. I hated life. Okay, I hated life for a long time. Remember we were talking about the $200 yesterday? Of how it might not be that much. Oh, God. This one just says sex. The journal entry. Offer. Bitch. And this one seems like a hospital bracelet that's redacted. Probably has her name on it. I want to thank you all. Dear Redacted. Oh, offer means offender. Okay. I want to thank you for all your support and advice. The depo wasn't as bad as I thought. Jeffrey introduced himself to everyone. Attorneys looked at me and said, "You know who I am," which I was pleased he knew who I was. He didn't answer many questions, which everyone knew that would happen. Every time there was a question about me, like if he knew who I was, about me becoming a model and sex toys, he would just have this dumb smile on his face. Then and then point at the attorneys. At a point, all the attorneys walked out and he said, "I don't think you want to leave your client by herself." Oh my God. I just stared at him the whole time. I got that like closure I wanted. I didn't cry until I was almost home. It was just a rush of emotions. I cried and didn't bottle it in. I'm not bottling these emotions anymore. I can't. You'll be proud to know I ate all weekend. Oh my God. She wasn't even eating, bro. He can't blame the victims anymore. Thank you for everything. You're like a best friend to me that I can run to whenever. Always, Redacted. Then this is another newspaper deal. A newspaper article, sorry. That she posted. Another newspaper article. This seems like judge delays ruling on request to unseal plea deal in sex case. She was reading up about a lot of it. Unlawful sexual activity with certain minors. Judge asked to name receiver to keep an eye on Epstein's assets. She was really following his case. Basically. These are all in the Epstein files, y'all. Judge should decide whether to unseal documents in Epstein's deal. Why didn't they redact you as Baker acted? I don't know. Epstein release upsets Jane Doe's, their attorney says. Jane Doe 5 did not watch television Wednesday morning because watching multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein smile and wave pleasantly as he walked out of the Palm Beach County Jail and slipped into a car that carried him back to his Palm Beach mansion was sure to make her angry. Yes, the 56-year-old is now a registered sex offender who has done his time, not quite 13 months of an 8... He served 13 months and left. Like, is that, like, what? But Jane Doe fought, and yes, he still must serve a year of probation, checking in weekly with his probation officer. He ruined their lives forever, by the way. But Jane Doe number 5 and others who have filed lawsuits against Epstein in the wake of his guilty plea and subsequent sentencing argue that he was treated with a soft touch. Oh my God. Epstein's attorney says no victims. This is all redacted, by the way. I don't know. All redacted again. Multi-millionaire Palm Beach sex offender secret plea deal to be unsealed Friday. Imagine how she must have felt. She thought he was finally going, like, you know. Tension between prosecutors. So he received a sweetheart deal. That's the sad part of it all, by the way. This is, by the way, if anybody came in, I'm reading one of the victim's journals. Where she added public news clippings. Hold on, let me see if there's anything else. Oh, that was the last page. Oh no, okay. So last page was sleazy perp, sleazier deal. That was the last page of her journal. This is another victim, by the way. On July the 22nd, 2020, at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, redacted, date of birth redacted, submitted an online tip to the FBI National Threat Operations Center regarding Jeffrey Epstein attempting to traffic her. Redacted claims she, redacted, has information to connect Prince Andrew to the case. I met Epstein in 96. He tried to traffic me and abused another girl from university, as I am redacted. Epstein stalked me for 23 years. I was sold at the age of 44 to Epstein, who claimed he had a written statement declaring the human trafficking from Andrew. I've been harassed by Andrew and Robin Wilkinson, the chief of HR at the Met, who protects the Duke of York. I gave information, and I believe you have a file on a conversation that took place in Paris between Epstein and I that was removed from redacted prosecution detail. I'd like the file, and I'm willing to help provide details of violation. Yeah. But let's go on. There's so many files, y'all. So who's this? It's ironic that they ask, are you 18 or older, to these files? But the girls who were involved were not even 18. This is Virginia Joffrey. We read about her yesterday. By the way, I found this as well. Apparently, Nikki Haley gave Trump a blowjob. It's from a sender redacted that he sent to Jeffrey Epstein. He says, I have not. He declined to give me a copy. Melania, ? Not living with him. Nikki Haley. Trump says blowjob, but who can trust him? You lots, Nikki Ayers. I mentioned in the Palm Beach house sale. Hopefully not anywhere else. What is this? These were the... Okay. Now let's get to this. This is a taxi driver who drove Trump, by the way. And he is talking about... This is a report by the FBI. Okay. So this is a man who drove Trump. And he says, on October the 27th, 2020, at 3:20 p.m. Eastern Time, redacted, date of birth redacted, cellular telephone number redacted, called the FBI National Threat Operations Center unit to report potential information related to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Redacted provided the following information. Redacted reported around 1997, he made contact with redacted, date of birth redacted, whom he had known for 6 or 7 years prior as they had a son together. Redacted and redacted ended up dating. As redacted explained she was having money issues and problems with her daughters, redacted noted they were friends from before. During the contact in 1997, redacted asked redacted how to spell Ghislaine numerous times. As redacted noted she had taken her daughters up to see one of the supposed fathers who lived in Niagara Falls, New York recently. Redacted reported she had met a lady who invited her daughters, redacted, date of birth redacted, and redacted, date of birth redacted, to a fancy hotel and met Donald Trump and some of his friends in 97. Redacted continued asking how to spell Ghislaine, implying Ghislaine had given her money and would give her additional money if needed. On Christmas Eve of 1999, or the day prior, Redacted was over visiting his son, who he had with Redacted years prior. Redacted began talking to Redacted as she seemed to be acting strange and asked Redacted if he needed a ride home. Redacted asked Redacted about his time driving a limousine for 2 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So he's a limousine driver. During Redacted's time as a driver, he had met Donald Trump. Redacted noted he picked the president up in 95 and took him to the DFW airport. Redacted reported some of the things President Trump had spoken about during their ride while on his cell phone were very concerning. Redacted reported he has a few seconds from pulling the limousine over on the median and within a few seconds of pulling him out of the car and hurting him due to some of the things he was saying, as caller choose not to. Redacted noted that Trump continuously stated the name Jeffrey while on the phone and made references to abusing some girl. By the way, this is Trump making that reference. Right? Redacted was unsure. Wait, can y'all hear me? Hello? Hello? Yes, you can hear me. Okay, good. If it's really bad, I might need to restart, maybe? Okay, you can hear me. Okay. So Trump is talking about abusing a girl. Right? Abusing some girl. Redacted was unsure he was talking to nor who he was referencing. As Redacted talked about his time meeting Donald Trump, Redacted demeanor went stone cold. As Redacted stated, he raped me. Redacted said, what? As Redacted replied, Donald J. Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. Redacted noted some girl with a funny name took me into a fancy hotel or building. That's how it happened. Redacted advised Redacted to call the police regarding the incident, as Redacted stated, I can't. They will kill me. On Christmas Day, Redacted stated she had in fact called the police about what they had talked about. Redacted told Redacted she had done good. Redacted did not hear from Redacted or Redacted until 2000. Redacted reached out to Redacted stating, Redacted was dead and noted she was found with her head blown off. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The girl who went to the police and told them that Trump and Epstein allegedly had unalived her, had raped her, was found unalived. What the fuck? I don't even know what to say. Again, Donald J. Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. And he advised her to call the police, and she told him, I can't. They will unalive me. And she was right. They unalived her. Allegedly. Allegedly. This is all alleged. I'm just reading public documents, by the way. That's why he lost contact with her. Redacted reached out to Redacted stating that Redacted was dead. She was found with her head blown off in Kiefer, Oklahoma. Officers on the scene and Redacted stated there was no way it was a self-unaliving. Coroner stated it was a self-unaliving. Redacted later stated Redacted committed self-unaliving because Redacted had gotten white powder from a Mexican substance cartel. Of course, they try to throw the Mexicans, like, scapegoat them as well. Redacted feels the unaliving is a cover for Ghislaine. The last contact with Redacted was after Redacted posted this information on Facebook a couple of weeks prior. Redacted called Redacted yelling that he had put the family in danger. Redacted explained Redacted had a third daughter named Redacted date of birth. Note, during Redacted report, he mentioned John Doe II was actually John W. Nichols. Date of birth Redacted, who tried to originally set up Redacted up for the bombing in Oklahoma City. Nichols worked security for Bill and Hillary Clinton, as Redacted ate at a place where Nichols worked security at the door. Hillary walked up to Redacted drunk and began yelling as they asked Redacted to leave and fired Nichols, which led Nichols to attempt to set up Redacted for the bombing. Excuse me? Am I lagging, by the way? Should I restart? I'm wondering if I should restart. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna restart. Because it seems like lagging not big enough. Yeah, I'll be safe. I'll restart, y'all. Oh, stream is fine. I'm confused. I'm getting a lot of mixed signals. You haven't glitched at all. Okay, if I'm glitching for some people, just leave and come back. Leave and come back. If you think I'm glitching for some people, leave and come back. So this girl was a girl who, and also like the live, share the live as well, y'all, so that it can protect the live. So just when saying like, share, try to protect the live as well. I tried copying and pasting, by the way. Hi, Crash Out Kermie. I tried copying and pasting and it's not working. Okay, so it didn't work. So this girl claimed to be raped by Donald Trump when she was a minor. And she was found unalived. Right? She was found unalived. The crazy thing is, she's not the only case. right? There are multiple other cases as well of people who are unalived, allegedly. Crazy. So this is another Federal Bureau of Investigation, CHS reporting document, right? It says here, captioned confidential human resource source was asked by the handling agent about information she may be aware of related to improper domestic or foreign influence over the electoral process in the U.S. CHS already provided some of this information documented in previous reports, but she expanded on several matters as described below. Redacted Harvard law professor Alan Dershowitz, CHS learned that Dershowitz influenced many students from wealthy families. For example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner were both his students. Ooh. Excuse me? Why are they all connected? I'm so confused. Why are they all connected? For example, Josh Kushner and Jared Kushner were both his students. Dershowitz told CHS that if he were young again, he would be holding a stun gun as an Israeli intelligence Mossad agent. Huh? CHS, when I'm saying they, I mean like the all the rich people. Why are all the rich people so connected? CHS believed Dershowitz was co-opted by Mossad and subscribed to their mission. CHS still continues to communicate occasionally for Dershowitz. Excuse me? Huh? Jeffrey Epstein was represented by Dershowitz. CHS remembered Dershowitz tell Alex Acosta, U.S. Attorney of Southern District of Florida at the time, that Epstein belonged to both U.S. and Allied intelligence services. Which Allied intelligence services? CHS shared phone calls between Dershowitz and Epstein, during which she took notes. After these calls, Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief? What the fuck? So, Dershowitz used to talk to Epstein, and then after he was done with Epstein, Mossad would call him. After these calls, Mossad would then call Dershowitz to debrief. Epstein was close to the former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, and trained as a spy under him. Barak believed Netanyahu was a criminal. Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the United Arab Emirates are allied against Qatar, Turkey, Iran, and Syria. One of CHS's redacted, who presumably worked redacted, asked CHS a lot of questions about Epstein. CHS became convinced that Epstein was a co-opted Mossad agent. So CHS, by the way, is the captioned confidential human source. Right? This is from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's a CHS reporting document. Okay. Masha Drokova, telephone number redacted, is based in Silicon Valley. She has been running a firm called Day One Ventures, which is supposedly at an early stage investment company. She used to be Russian President Vladimir Putin's main contact in the Russian youth movement. CHS and Drakova spoke, but Drakova did not talk at all about technology. Instead, she looked at CHS and said, "You knew Epstein, didn't you?" She said Epstein was a wonderful man and that it was a crying shame what had been done to him. CHS concluded Day One Ventures was in Silicon Valley to steal technology. So Epstein is connected to the Israeli government. He's connected to the Russian government. Why is this man connected to so many different governments? I'm confused. CHS advised Shabbat is doing everything they can to co-opt the Trump presidency. Shabbat is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all the Russo-Jewish oligarchs. On the day Trump was elected president, Ivanka Trump and Jared were at the graveside of Rabbi Shirsam, who was the most powerful rabbi in the Shabbat network. Jared didn't disclose his stake in Qatar because of his ties to the Russian state. CHS believed this is the real Russian collusion story. Kushner has moved a lot of Russian investment money around. The FBI should investigate Kushner's family charities to find evidence of corruption and money laundering. By the way, they did find evidence of his father engaging in engaging in fraud. Kushner's father. And you know what happened? Trump pardoned him. Trump pardoned him. And he's ambassador of France now, exactly. Charles Kushner. He's the ambassador of France now. After Trump pardoned him. CHS provided the attached article entitled Jim McGreevey and His Main Man by Craig Horowitz, published September the 10th, 2004. While the article is old and centered on Charles Kushner, well, speak of the devil, Charles Kushner. It highlights and documents the deep ties the Kushner family has with Israel and their history of corrupt business practices and alleged violations of election laws. CHS stated that if the FBI is serious about investigating the Kushners and their relationship with Middle East, they should closely look at Ken Kurson, who knows everything. CHS advised Henry Kissinger introduced Charles to Kui Tiankai, the Chinese ambassador. Oh, no, China is involved as well. So China, Russia, and Israel, all these three countries are involved. Charles to Kui Tiankai, the Chinese ambassador to the U.S., a relationship that could have been helpful at around the same time of the introduction. An Bang was entering negotiations with Kushners over 666 Fifth Avenue. Harry Tenaustimbinho, Harry has been involved and has developed Trump's hotels and is a billionaire. Harry Redacted introduced her to the Indonesian CIA. So now the Indonesian CIA is also involved. Harry Redacted speaks Indonesian. Harry bought his Beverly Hills home from Trump at an inflated price. On Redacted was at Harry's house when Harry redacted that Trump told him that he was going to fuck Amazon over their military contracts. CHS advised that this was a real collusion story. Trump has been compromised by Israel, and Kushner is the real brains behind his organization and presidency. That's what Harry is saying. That Harry dude. The dude from Indonesia, apparently. Igor Korbatov brokered the sale of a Beverly Hills mansion Trump acquired for $800,000 less than the market value. CHS referenced the attached article that summarized the matter. A small-time scam artist gave Trump a mansion for $0. Why? Published April 12, 2018 by Lance Williams and Matt Smith and revealed from the Center for Investigative Reporting. Ross Delston, a Washington, D.C. based attorney and consultant on financial crimes to the International Monetary Fund, said the deal included many facets that don't add up, and that the deal warrants further scrutiny and investigators should follow up on the numerous oddities and red flags that this series of transactions raises. The Fishes, NFI, signed the deed transferring the Beverly Hills home. The Fishes are prominent Los Angeles real estate investors and political donors. They have given more than $250,000 to GOP candidates and causes. Records show they were guests at the White House when George W. Bush was president and accompanied him on a trip to Israel. Selma Fish said in a phone interview, their daughter and wife of the sales broker Lisa Korbatov is a GOP activist and president of the Beverly Hills Unified School Board. Lisa is an active member of the Jewish community in Beverly Hills. After one session on the West Coast, the apprentice moved back to New York. Trump never lived in the Beverly Hills mansion. In the summer of 2009, he sold the home for $9.5 million, $800,000 less than the previous year's price, to a Swiss entity associated with the family of Ika Wijaya, an Indonesian billionaire financier. The sale was in cash. Trump's former lawyer Michael Cohen, filed the legal papers for the shell company involved in the mansion's purchase, and he notarized the deed when Trump sold the property. Record shows. He didn't respond to multiple requests for a comment. I'm so sorry. Why are more people not talking about this? By the way, why are people not talking about this? The fact that all of these different governments are involved with one another? And of course, Epstein is going to be involved in actively, right, trying to keep them satisfied by giving them girls from poor and middle-class families. No wonder. Epstein was literally giving them victims from poor and middle-class families so they can happily stay kind of like politically and economically engaged with one another. CHS stated, redacted, Renda Tillerson, telephone number redacted. Renda is the wife of Rex Tillerson, former Secretary of State for Trump. Renda told CHS about smears in the New York Post and how Jared was running a rival State Department operation. Rex affirmed Renda's claim. Renda was introduced to CHS by Darren Blanton. Renda and Rex both told CHS they had been under intense surveillance. Renda told CHS she can't wait for the FBI to call her so that she can tell them everything she knows. According to Jed Sugarman and Whitney Webb, Leon Black, who's the billionaire we addressed yesterday, by the way, owns the mercenary firm formerly known as Blackwater, now Constellus, which has been accused of being involved in several arms and human trafficking scandals. Black is also the CEO of Apollo. New York Times noted that Black inexplicably stood by Jeffrey Epstein, recently giving him $50 million. Now, I wonder why Leon Black would give Epstein $50 million. By the way, Leon Black is also in the Epstein files. Okay? Leon Black is also in the Epstein files. Just wanted to say that. Am I glitching? Okay. Y'all, follow me. I'm going to restart. Follow me. I'm going to restart because at this point it's really bad. So follow me. I will restart. I'm giving you a chance to follow me right now. And I will restart. Oh, hey, Shaky. Hey, girl. Follow me. I'll restart. Because it's... everybody follow me. And I'll restart immediately. Okay? Follow me. I'll restart immediately. I'm giving everybody a chance to follow me. And I will restart right now immediately. Because I want to protect my platform too. So...